In this video, we're going to unveil the forgotten wisdom of a woman who defied the boundaries of her time. Join us as we explore the hidden teachings of Mary Magdalene in the Gospel of Mary, where ancient secrets and spiritual truths await. The Gospel of Mary is a fascinating text that offers an alternative perspective on early Christian teachings and the role of Mary Magdalene at that time. This is discovered in the late 19th, early 20th centuries, and the text is part of a broader collection of Gnostic writings that emphasize spiritual knowledge and inner enlightenment. And unlike the canonical Gospels, the Gospel of Mary provides a really unique narrative where Mary Magdalene is portrayed not merely as a follower of Jesus, but as a central figure who possesses really deep spiritual insight. This text is particularly significant because it challenges the traditional portrayal of Mary Magdalene with the mainstream Christianity narrative we have today, where she's often marginalized or even mischaracterized. Instead, the Gospel of Mary presents her as a spiritual teacher who offers comfort and guidance to the disciples in the hours after or in the wake of Jesus' departure. This portrayal suggests a more prominent role for women in the early Christian community, highlighting the importance of spiritual knowledge over institutional authority. Now, the text, however, only survives in fragments, just chapters 4 through 9 available for study. Despite this, the Gospel of Mary provides really valuable insights into early Christian debates about sin, the soul's ascent, the nature of salvation, and it raises equally important questions about the dynamics of power and authority within the early church, particularly regarding the role of women. As we dive into the chapters of this text, we uncover a vision of Christianity that is rich and complex, offering a fresh perspective on what we consider familiar narratives, but may have been completely different at the time. The Gospel of Mary is an early Christian text that forms part of a broader Gnostic tradition known for its emphasis on more esoteric knowledge and spiritual enlightenment. This text is of particular interest because it presents an alternative narrative to the canonical Gospels, featuring and focused on Mary Magdalene as a key figure in the transmission of Jesus' teachings. The Gospel of Mary is really believed to have been composed in about the 2nd century, although the exact date and authorship still remain uncertain, like the rest of the Gospels that have been written. The text itself was discovered in fragments, with the most complete version being a 5th century Coptic manuscript. Unfortunately, only chapters 4 through 9 have survived, leaving gaps in the narrative. Despite this, though, the surviving content offers really profound insights into early Christian thought. The Gospel of Mary begins with a discussion about the nature of sin, where Jesus emphasized that sin is not inherent, but arises from wrongful actions driven by ignorance. The text then shifts to Mary Magdalene, who shares a vision that she received from Jesus, outlining the soul's journey after death and the challenges that it has to overcome to attain spiritual enlightenment. The vision highlights key Gnostic themes like the ascent of the soul, the overcoming of material constraints, and the pursuit of hidden knowledge. The Gospel of Mary concludes with a confrontation between her and some of the disciples, particularly Peter, who questions her authority to share these teachings in the first place. This confrontation reflects really early Christian tensions regarding the role of women and the nature of spiritual authority at that time. It makes the Gospel of Mary a crucial text for understanding the diversity of those early beliefs that Jesus taught and that were thought and believed at the time he was crucified. Let's start now with chapter 4 and set the scene. Chapter 4 of the Gospel of Mary opens up with the disciples grieving after Jesus' departure. They're confused and fearful, unsure how to continue without their teacher. Mary Magdalene steps in to comfort them, displaying a leadership role that is usually overlooked in other texts. She reassures the disciples. She reminds them of Jesus' teachings and encourages them to remain steadfast in their faith. This chapter sets the tone for the rest of the text, establishing Mary as a central figure who possesses not only deep spiritual insight, but also the ability to guide and support and stand up for the other disciples. In chapter 5, Mary describes a vision she received from Jesus, revealing hidden teachings about the soul's journey after death. This vision is rich with symbolic meaning, describing the ascent of the soul through various realms, where it encounters challenges and obstacles that must be overcome to achieve spiritual enlightenment. Now, the vision emphasizes the importance of inner knowledge and the rejection of material attachments, core themes that were common in Gnostic thought. This chapter highlights Mary's unique role as a recipient of Jesus' secret teachings, challenging the traditional patriarchal structure of the early church and who Jesus taught and what he taught. Chapter 6 introduces a significant conflict within the group of disciples. Peter and Andrew question the legitimacy of Mary's vision, expressing doubt that her authority to convey such profound teachings was real. This confrontation reflects the broader debates within that early Christianity about the role of women and the nature of spiritual authority as a whole. Peter's skepticism highlights the tension between institutional authority, patriarchal authority, and personal spiritual experience, which is a theme that resonates throughout Gnostic literature. Mary's response to this challenge is pivotal as it underscores her confidence in the truth of her vision and her role as a spiritual leader. Chapter 7 is Mary's response, and she defends her vision, asserting her right to share the teachings that she received from Jesus. Levi, one of the disciples who we believe was Matthew, supports her, reprimanding Peter, acknowledging the legitimacy of Mary's spiritual insight. This chapter further cements Mary's position as a central figure in the Christian community, and it highlights the text's critique of the marginalization of women's voices in the church, the suppression of the divine female. Mary's response is not just a defense of her vision, but also a really broad statement about the importance of spiritual knowledge, personal spiritual knowledge, over hierarchical authority. Chapter 8 delves deeper into the concept of the soul's ascent, describing its journey through various realms and its encounters with spiritual beings that challenge its progress. This chapter is crucial for understanding the Gnostic worldview, which emphasizes the struggle of the soul to transcend material limitations and attain spiritual freedom. The obstacles faced by the soul are symbolic of the inner challenges that individuals must overcome to achieve true enlightenment. This chapter underscores the gospel of Mary's focus on inner transformation and the pursuit of divine knowledge as the path to salvation. And then chapter 9 is the conclusion and the reflection to this Gnostic Gospel of Mary. It concludes with a reflection on the teachings and the encouragement for the disciples to go forward and preach the gospel. This ending serves as a call to action, urging the disciples to spread the knowledge that they've received despite the challenges that they might face. The support Mary receives from some of the disciples, particularly Levi or Matthew, underscores the text affirmation of her authority and the importance of her teaching, and even more important, her relationship with Jesus Christ. The chapter reinforces the central message of the Gospel of Mary, that true spiritual authority comes from inner knowledge, personal experience, rather than from institutional or patriarchal or hierarchical power. The Gospel of Mary offers a unique and profound perspective on the role of Mary Magdalene in early Christianity. Through its exploration of themes like the ascent of the soul, the nature of sin itself, and the importance of personal spiritual knowledge, this text challenges traditional views of Mary Magdalene and presents her as a central figure in the transmission of Jesus' teachings. The confrontation between Mary and the other disciples, particularly Peter, highlights the tension between institutional authority and personal spiritual experience, a theme that resonates throughout all of Gnostic literature. The Gospel of Mary also raises important questions about the role of women in early Christianity. Mary's leadership and her role as a bearer of hidden knowledge taught to her personally by the Savior suggests that women may have held more prominent positions in the early church than is often acknowledged. This text invites us to reconsider the narratives that have been handed down through the centuries and to really explore the diversity of thought and belief in the early Christian community as it relates to the divine feminine and the divine feminine's role in those teachings. In reflecting on the Gospel of Mary, we're reminded of the importance of seeking personal spiritual knowledge and understanding for ourselves rather than just relying on an external authority. Mary Magdalene's example encourages us to trust in our own experiences and our insights as we navigate our spiritual journeys. The Gospel of Mary is not just a historical text, but is a source of inspiration for those who really seek a deep connection with the divine. We really truly hope you enjoyed this discussion on the Gospel of Mary and Mary Magdalene and her relationship with Jesus Christ, the other disciples, and the church. We would love it. It would mean the world to us if you would like and subscribe and share this video so we can continue to produce content for you that uplifts and helps refine your soul and helps your soul remember who you really are. Thanks for watching.